The Oscars ratings have collapsed. Fewer and fewer people are watching them, so you can get an idea. This year, the event had a rating of 17.9 million viewers. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, if we compare it to what they had in 2010, it's very little. That year, the Oscars had an audience of 41.3 million viewers. Just imagine, now they have 17.9 million, less than half, which have dropped because of that. And every year that goes by, the Oscars drop more and more and more. In fact, here they tell us that this year had 9% less viewership than the previous year than last year. Guys, people are fed up with the Oscars. People are fed up with Hollywood actors. The harsh reality is that this event is becoming less and less relevant. It's just less important, period, and people are fed up with these hypocritical actors. That's the harsh reality. In fact, here they tell us the ratings. The Oscars have declined in just 2 decades. In 1996, 45 million people watched them. Well, let's see. In 2010, 41 million watched them. That says it all. In 2016, 34 million, and in 2026, 17 million. It's all over. For these networks, television today only exists for live sports, which I totally agree with. I've already told you that I only pay for television because first, it's included with my internet. And second, it gives me the Champions League, the Premier League, and a bunch of sporting events that, on top of that, I just have on in the background. And sometimes what I really don't watch are the Oscars, an event nobody cares about. In fact, this news is confirmed by Variety magazine, so this rating is real, and honestly, it doesn't surprise me. Guys, these Hollywood actors, all of them are complete hypocrites. While they pretend to be environmentalists, people who care about the environment, it turns out that's how they left the place, the theater where the Oscars ceremony was held. Just look at this. Look at this mess. Yes, this is no joke. The Oscars were held here, and many of these Hollywood actors were sitting right here. Just look at the trash they left behind. This isn't Bangladesh, this isn't India, this is Hollywood, baby. Just imagine that. I mean, it's crazy. And these, I'm telling you, are the people who come and lecture us about the environment. No. They couldn't even pick up their popcorn and throw it in the trash. They just left it there lying around. Incredible but true, a bunch of slobs, a bunch of pigs, these Hollywood actors. In fact, I want to show you the following. Here they show us this guy, Javier Bardem, who came with this no to war pin, acting like an environmentalist and social justice warrior and blah blah blah. That is, just like many Hollywood actors, he came out to support the regime and the tyranny of the Ayatollahs, not the Iranian people. But anyway, that's not the point. It turns out that this guy who's progressive, leftist, blah blah blah, at one point he was accused of tax fraud. Just look at that. The Supreme Court fines Javier Bardem 151,000 euros for defrauding the tax authorities. This is no joke, guys. This news is completely real. It actually happened. And yes, the guy was caught by the government or the Spanish tax authorities for not paying taxes. Look, I have no problem with that because taxes are theft. However, these people are the first ones to tell you no, you have to pay taxes. Because people go to live in Andorra and Dubai, to tax havens, and they're the first to use phrases like tax the rich, let the rich pay. And well, it turns out that when it comes to their own money, then they do take it away, because they're unable to pay it. In fact, here they tell us, Javier Bardem, the hero of the left, thinks that those who go to Andorra don't deserve to be Spanish. And well, here we see him cheating the tax authorities. Incredible but true, guys. This is the level. Honestly, this is the level. That's why it's no coincidence that people have gotten fed up with these Hollywood actors. It's that simple. I'm not surprised by what's happening with the Oscars, and it's becoming a more and more irrelevant event. Now let's take a look at this news because it's brutal. The end of Hollywood. The dramatic victory of the United States team over the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic semi-final. On Sunday night, it broke audience records. With more than 7.3 million viewers tuning into the broadcast, the exciting game, aired by Fox Sports, became the most watched World Baseball Classic broadcast in history on any network. Competing directly with the Oscars ceremony? Just imagine, the award ceremony attracted 17.9 million viewers, but it saw a 9% decrease compared to the previous year. And it's the lowest audience in 4 years. Okay, pay close attention because these numbers can be misleading. Of course, the Oscars had a bigger audience than baseball, that's true. However, the Oscars were broadcast by American Broadcasting Company, which is a national network in the United States. Just imagine that. On the other hand, Fox Sports is paid television, it's cable television, that's the huge difference. And also, let's keep in mind that they were competing in the same time slot, which is completely crazy. Guys, are the Oscars really losing their impact? Hey, getting 17.9 million live viewers, wow. That's no small feat, it's crazy. We're talking about a huge number of people tuning into the Oscars. However, when we put this in perspective and compare, we realize that the drop has been brutal. Just look, back in 2015, they had 37.3 million viewers. In 2020, guys, during the pandemic, practically at the start of the pandemic, 23.6 million viewers. I mean, there were more people in 2020 tuning into the Oscars than there are now, which shows what this means. In 2025, 19.7 million. A disgrace? I mean, the Oscars have fallen apart and now there's something quite peculiar. Please pay attention. Surprisingly, the celebrities didn't wear pins with the phrase "Ice Out" at the Oscars today like they did at previous events. It's true, they didn't say anything about immigration and customs enforcement, do you realize? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why? Because the actors' agenda in reality is to oppose anything that Donald Trump is doing. Period. That's their real agenda. Whatever Donald Trump does is wrong, no matter what it is. Even if it's stopping Nicolas Maduro, that's wrong for the Hollywood actors. Let's remember how actors of the stature of Matt Ruffalo came out to support Nicolas Maduro, just like many of these actors did. They are supporting the Ayatollahs, currently a dictatorial regime that had the Iranian people oppressed. They support the regime, they support tyranny. Why? Simply because they are enemies of Donald Trump, period. They oppose anything Donald Trump does, that's their real agenda. No immigration and customs enforcement. And since right now, no one is talking about immigration and customs enforcement. They don't care about immigration and customs enforcement anymore. They're not interested. Immigration and customs enforcement doesn't matter to them at all. That's why we didn't see a single immigration and customs enforcement pin. But we did see the hypocrite Javier Bardem with his no to war pin, right? I mean, we saw this guy here like this, but what happened with immigration and customs enforcement? It just disappeared. What can I say, guys? Honestly, I'm not surprised, but well, these are the Oscars, the awards for hypocrisy, less relevant every day. Guys, see you next time.